I never thought a Gengar only Infinite Fusion run would be this tough. In Pokemon Infinite Fusions, Gengar isn't his standard Ghost Poison typing. It's got a monotyping of Ghost only. So no matter what we fuse it with, we will always have that Ghost typing. I thought that this would be a breeze. Gengar has Levitate, so ground moves have no effect, and normal moves don't affect Ghosts either. But I forgot about a common move typing that would be super effective against any Gengar fusion that we can make. That's right, dark moves. I'm Nerdy Ninetales, and today we're doing a randomized hard Pokemon Infinite Fusions run using everyone's favorite mischievous ghost, Gengar. For those of you who don't know, Pokemon Infinite Fusion is a fan-made game with over 170,000 combinations of Pokemon to make with over 75,000 custom sprites made by amazing fan artists. Hit that like button so we can get 94 likes for this ghostly guy. Now, let the struggle begin as dark and ghost type moves make us rethink our life choices. Since all of our Pokemon will be ghost types, I would name my rival after one of the most annoying ghosts I know. As for me, I'll be Nicholas. Comment below if you know the reference of these two ghost-themed names. We begin our journey in Professor Oak's lab. It's free Pokemon Day, and since I'm his favorite trainer, I get to choose first. The options here are Victory Drill, Glissplume, and Snowray. We take Snowray, which looks amazing, however, isn't Gengar, so we'll unfuse them and fuse them both with Ghastly. Even with the wrong Pokemon, we barely beat Peeves, and we got a small glimpse into our future. Peeves decides to badmouth his partner Pokemon. Rude. We quickly fuse Ghastly with our two starter Pokemon to make Gasray and Gaslax, which sounds like a pill you would take to ease your sour stomach. We head to Viridian to pick up Old Man Oak's meds from the pharmacy to get our Pokeballs and Pokedex. On our way to find the first gym leader, we catch a Mewbell, Starkey, and Cellrados to use for later. You may have noticed all of these have custom sprites. In this run, we will only encounter custom sprite Pokemon in the wild and in battles. Peeves apparently wants the heat, so we duke it out again. This man already found a dark type Pokemon. Not that it matters since it has Dragon Rage, which will always do 40 damage to my low level Pokemon. He makes us blackout twice. I should have taken this as a sign that the run would not go as planned. We quickly train up our Pokemon to utilize Hypnosis to finally move on from this hellscape. Viridian Forest hooks us up with Haunt-Sharp, which looks like a deadly scarecrow, and this beautiful Leafizard. Now that we're in Pewter City, it's time to find out what type we're dealing with for our first gym. I should mention, we'll be randomizing the types of all gym leaders and Elite Four in this run, so let's hope we don't get any dark types. And it's ghost type. This is good and bad news. I can do super effective damage to Brock's Pokemon, but he can do the same to mine. Brock leads with Magnegius, which is a mouthful, and we're blessed to hit our Hypnosis. A couple Nightshades later, and it is knocked out. He brings out Abpet, which quickly curses us to oblivion. Gasray comes out only to get Shadow Sneak to near death, but Abpet is still cursed. Using our big brain, we use a potion on Gasray to survive another hit and watch as the curse damage grants us our first badge. When leaving, Brock's trainer calls me hotter than him, which is flattering, but I'm not interested. I've got badges to earn, plus I'm 10 years old. On the next route, we find this monstrous Pintina, which will be the reason I'm not sleeping tonight. We battle trainers with some fantastic fusions, like this Dugchamp and this cute starter fusion, Bulbatwig. Shout out to the last video. We are warned that there are some thugs up ahead, so it's time we revamp the team. We had to add Vulpix to our roster, and when fusing with Ghastly, it makes this Fireball. Honchkrow and Ghastly make this Reddit user. Watch out, because Giratina and Ghastly will peer into your soul. Celebi with Ghastly gives us a Ghost Onion, while Bisharp and our ghostly boy make a zombie Bisharp. We take our new team inside the cave where this monstrosity is lurking. No, it's okay, I don't want to hear your mixtape. Deep in the cave, we find the Pokemon-obsessed Team Rocket, attempting some insane triple fusion on the most mid Pokemon in the game. If you're gonna triple fuse something, at least make it cooler than these three. They send in their captive to fight us with his fusion that looks like Blastoise was stuffed into Eevee's body. Then the team blasts off again and we make our way to Cerulean City. Wouldn't you know it, Peeves is here to battle again, and this one is a doozy. He takes down our whole team with knockoff and feint attack, even under confusion. We trained and returned to duke it out with Peeves again. This time, our confusion worked like a charm and Gaspy was able to take on the whole team. On the way to save Bill from himself, we evolve all our Pokemon and run into some insane fusions like this Volcanizard. guard. Oh, and this shoe ape, which screams, don't go with Shuckle. When we arrive to Bill, he's making a fusion of his own. I'd hate to see how experiments 1 through 31 turned out. We help him reverse his poor life choices in exchange for an SS and ticket. Since Hanbi is no longer a custom art fusion, we swap it out for Hanane, which is exactly what I think a ghost furry would look like. Time to get our second badge. Just as long as it's not dark type. I knew this day would come, but I didn't expect it this early. Misty leads with Spear Gross and quickly feint attacks Valter to another dimension. Hanani comes in to take the next 2 feint attacks, and it's back to the Pokemon Center we go. In our next attempt, it goes just as poorly. Misty's Hounpion and Wigglyrai ruin us. I train my Pokemon to the same level as her highest Pokemon and give it another go. Even with max potions, the dark type was too much. At this point, I am down on my luck, ready to throw the controller against the monitor and call it a day. But then I remember how many experiments it took our friend Bill to finally fuse himself with that Rhydon. Okay, even after 32 experiments, it wasn't perfect, but he never gave up, and we aren't either. Yeah, she spanked us again and again, until finally RNG takes the wheel and Confusion finally does a favor against this Litrark. Things are looking up, and after seemingly 1,000 roosts and super potions, we defeat Darkling, and the Cascade badge is ours. Now get me out of Celadon City forever, please. It's become clear that we need to rebalance our team a bit. Let's see what awesome Haunter fusions we can make. Haunter and Porygon make this terrifying tech, while Espeon and Haunter make an even deadlier Espeon. Scizor and Haunter give us an insect I would hate to be trapped in a room with. Finally, Pikachu and Haunter make Emo Pikachu. It's not a phase, Mom. We take our new team to the SSN, where things are quite uneventful, aside from a certain exchange of goods for services. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. Now we cut through to the 3rd gym, where the randomized type is, you guessed it, Ghost type. Look, we don't know how bad this might be yet, but at least it isn't dark. We dig through some trash and battle Lieutenant Surge. We're able to hex Darkross until it faints, and we're quickly met with Houndskull. What do you know? A dark type Pokemon. I rethink all my life choices, and luckily Pikachu is able to get a quick Nightshade off. Surge's last Pokemon is a Nidoedge, and my god, look how badass this Pokemon is. He's a quick one too, KOing Pikachu, leaving us with, oh god, why does Hounpion have 1 low-level non-effective attacking move? Yeah, that's a no from me, dog. We sacrifice Hounpion, revive Valter, and set up Confusion with Will-O-Wisp. We survive a Shadow Sneak, use a Super Potion, and are able to hex Nidoedge with 4 HP to spare. Man, these early gym battles are sweaty. We make our way through this dark cave, finding some cool fusions along the way. Then we stumble into Lavender Town, where a spooky ghost tower waits for us. Yeah, I think we've had enough of ghosts already. Peeves is a step ahead of us and says our Pokemon don't look dead, which is a damn lie. They're literally all ghosts. Then threatens to make them all faint. Yeah, he almost does that too, thanks to his not dark Pokemon having dark type moves. But fortunately for us, we have Poritur, who has Recover, and with 13 HP remaining, Poritur defeats one of the coolest fusions I've seen in a while. Even with all our ghostly Pokemon, we still need the Silph Scope to see in this place to rescue the old man. So we search to find Team Rocket with Peeves in Celadon City near the sewers. Turns out the old man was Mr. Fuji, who runs the Pokemon orphanage. This upsets the gym leader Erica, who suspects that Team Rocket's headquarters are in the sewers under her city. We combine forces and crawl through the underbelly of Celadon City, where we actually find a Gengar. Yeah, you're coming with us. We find the entrance to their headquarters, a land of a million conveyor belts. We fight our way through some grunts to find Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket. He has some cool fusions. Remember, don't go with Shuckle. We make quick work of his team and he pieces out, leaving behind a handy Silph Scope. Erica thanks us for the help and urges us to come challenge her at the gym. So we do just that. Since we found a Gengar, we evolve the rest of our team to the Gengar versions of their fusions, and check to find that Erica is randomized to her original grass type Pokemon. Thank Arceus. One of our mainstays, Ninegar, should make this a breeze. And it was! Finally, an easy W. Let's go save that old man. It appears this was all a distraction, as Team Rocket has already made off with the prototype of the Master Ball. Mr. Fuji then gives us this groovy flute that wakes up sleeping Pokemon, as he thinks it'll help us on our journey. It's like he knows something we don't. And good thing for that, because we need to play a tune to wake this giant Snorlax blocking the way. This lady thanks us for our help and informs us that her dad is a gym leader at Fuchsia City, so we make our way over there. Now, Fuchsia is also the home of the Safari Zone, where we can find some rare Pokemon to fuse with our Gengar, so we go hunting. We find a lot of fantastic fusions, like this Octatu, who can pass up on a Mewtwo. We add it to the roster and head to the Pokemon Center to see what kind of Gengar fusions we can cook up before our battle with Koga. Gengar and Gyarados make this slithery snake. Reversing it gets us this smug mermaid. Rhyperior and Gengar make a beefy boy, while Gengar and Spiritomb looks like it just ate some bad sushi. The reverse redeems it with this insane Shadow Gengar. Togekiss and Gengar are about to take flight. Gengar fused with Unknown makes the creepiest ghost face. Delibird and Gengar fuse to make Belschnickel from The Office. If you know, you know. Gengar with Charizard makes a bashful little dragon who's surely up to no good. We make some key swaps on the team and head to fight Koga and his ice-type Pokemon. We make like a ninja and navigate around the invisible walls. Genizard will lead our party with its fire-type moves. We use Flame Burst to take care of Dewsire, Dewlife, and Delegile swiftly. It looks like we're getting a lucky break from these insane type matchups for now, and we'll take it along with our 5th badge. We can't celebrate too long, as rumors have it Team Rocket is taking hostages at Silph Co. I guess it's up to us, a 10-year-old child, to save them? Strange logic, but who am I to argue? We make our way to the top floor where we find Team Rocket, and right on time, we're interrupted by Peeves. You know, this man is really living up to his name. He is eager to battle, and we quickly lose Togegar, but get revenge by sending out Pikagar. He sends in his Bylurk, and since it's been 2 gyms with no dark moves to be seen, of course, it has Night Slash. We lose Pikagar and Ninegar. Porygar is able to finish it off and take down Glissbloom and Ferroras with it. Blazepert KOs Porygar, and we're left with a vulnerable Genizard. We take some chip damage and revive Togegar before fainting. Togegar is able to save the day with Air Slash, causing an insane flinch. Our rival heals us, and we take on the boss of Team Rocket together. We make a great team once the dark moves aren't flying at my Pokemon. We dismantle his team one by one until we defeat him. Gengar reveals he has 3 Master Balls and makes for the exit. If there was only a trio of Pokemon he could use these on. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We're in Saffron City, so we pay a visit to the local gym leader, Sabrina. It turns out she has Ice-type Pokemon. What is this randomizer? I won't complain about it too much, as our Genizard melts the competition. Sabrina says she didn't work hard enough to win, but I don't think she ever stood a chance. After all, I'm a child single-handedly fighting against an organized crime syndicate. Cinnabar Island is next on our hit list, but this gym is locked, so we make some new fusions while we wait for the leader to return. Starting with Venusaur and Gengar, which makes a very festive frog. When fusing with Aegislash, Gengar takes form in its shield. It looks like we have an art thief on our hands with Smeargle. Milotic and Gengar fuse to make a creepy mermaid. Both ways you fuse them, Mimikyu and Gengar have some unforgettable smiles. Gengar and Nidoking fuse to make, oh gosh, what's it doing with its tongue? Put it away! Machamp lends Gengar a hand or 2, or 4. And finally, Gengar and Gengar fuse to make this maniac. Our new team is ready for our 7th gym battle, but Blaine is missing in action, so we post a silver alert in the area and get to looking. Turns out he was wandering around an abandoned lab, as one does. He hobbles back to the gym so we can lay the smackdown. Blaine has fighting type Pokemon, but before we can battle him, we need to answer some of his top security questions so he can log back into his Facebook account. Once we're through, he sends out the shockingly dope Lukachu. Look at him standing on that Thunderstone. Unfortunately, it's not enough to save him and his squad from the annihilation. Even being under-leveled, we make Blaine wish he never unlocked those doors for us. We hear Team Rocket and Giovanni are causing a scene at Mount Ember, so we go investigate. Turns out the legendary trio has been obtained with the Master Balls, and Team Rocket is attempting to fuse them into the insane triple fusion Zapmolkuno. This Pokemon has 3 heads and 3 health bars. Not only that, but it gets to attack 3 times for every 1-time weaken attack. Giovanni thinks nothing can stop him now, but underestimates our strength. See, these 3 legendary birds didn't get the memo about dark type moves, so we should be a-okay. As As we learned from our last video, the key is to use a move that will damage all 3 heads at the same time. So we lead with Porygar and its discharge attack. This works perfectly against these flying types. We sadly don't get a second chance to attack before getting KO'd, but Ninegar comes in and totally cleans up Articuno and Moltres. Genslash is able to chip away at Zapdos before falling to a discharge. Zapdos decides to focus on stat changing moves, giving Gen King the opportunity to hit it with a final Dark Pulse. And just like that, Zapmolkuno is defeated, easier than the first 2 badges in this run. Giovanni splits, telling Team Rocket he needs quiet time to compose himself. On our way out, we run into Peeves, who said he was sad we started the party without him. Smell you later, bro. With 7 gym badges in our possession and 1 left, it's time to return to Viridian City, where the last gym is now occupied by none other than Giovanni himself. Sorry, no quiet time for you. The trainers blocking the path end up with some wild fusions, like this sweet Alotera and this double Nidoking fusion. Chantera has a Pokemon Center at the ready, and this godly ground doof isn't messing around. Giovanni ends up immune to the randomizer and gets his typical ground typing for this battle. Not much to report here, as our Gentic hydro pumps each of his Pokemon to the next dimension. Porygar plays the full restore dance with this scary looking Milshrew until we finally KO it, claiming our final badge. It's time to head to the Elite Four. As we crawl through Victory Road, we find some rad Pokemon fusions and some sus ones. Now that we have arrived, it's time to make some of the best Gengar fusions for our final team. Magmortar makes this menacing Munchkin. I think he got too many lip fillers. Electivire turns into an even deadlier thunderous beast, while Alakazam gets a third eye, but it's kinda lazy. Oh gosh, Dragonite gives us this jump scare. Where's your mouth, sir? And Kabuto makes us all reconsider fusing Pokemon ever again. Stunfisk became a shadow of its former self, while Miltank, yeah, actually, we won't talk about Miltank. Genesect is aiming his cannon with precision, and Rotom is looking like a superhero. This Zoroark becomes a beast, while Mew looks like it could benefit from a few extra Pokemon battles. Darkrai reminds us how epic his fusions are, and Jirachi seems to have misplaced its eyeball. Finally, we move on to the best Gengar fusions, the ones inspired by Gigantamax Gengar. Palkia gives one of the coolest fusions in this run, and I had to show you this creepy Hypno that is definitely up to no good, while Kyogre makes this behemoth that reminds me of Lord Jabu Jabu. Comment if you know the reference. Dugtrio turns into everyone's least favorite cave in Pokemon. And to wrap us up, Corslo wants to show us its great reef. We form a team with the most coverage we can, comprised of Ninegar, Jiragar, Genevire, Aligar, Kyogre, and Generark. Let's pray none of these 4 are randomized to Dark or Ghost type. As always, Lorelei is up first with her Dragon type Pokemon. We lead with Ninegar, who takes out Pidgeon with ease, but is quickly taught a lesson from this Axe King's outrage. Jiragar takes over and sets up a Future Sight that eventually KOs this monster. Jiragar lays down another Future Sight, and we swap out a few times until Genvire comes in to clean up this Dragoth. Lorelei sends in Santini, which sounds like the world's worst martini, and hits one of our only non-levitate Pokemon with Earthquake. Yeah, that's gonna leave a mark. Luckily, Kyogre can clean up with Origin Pulse, and oh yeah, Ice is super effective against dragons. The second battle against Bruno was going smoothly against his fighting Pokemon until it just had to fuse with a dark type. This Honcham Night Slashes our ghost Pokemon again and again and again. We finally have this thing down to red health, and Kyogre KOs it. Finally, after a few calm minds, our Kyogre plows through the rest of Bruno's fighting type Pokemon. That could have been real bad. Time for Agatha. Her fairy type Pokemon are no match for us, as we take out 3 of them with Ninegar alone. Aligar and Kyogre come in to take care of the rest of her sad excuse for a team. Lance is all that remains between us and the champion. He's rocking electric Pokemon and leads with this Rotom fusion. Ninegar handles it no problem, but gets KO'd by Railix. We send in Genvire, who can't take more than 2 Stone Edges before fainting. Aligar can finish the job and almost takes down Rhydon as well. Our Generark is fast enough to handle these next 2 Pokemon no problem before Lance sends in Pikastar, ending his time in the spotlight. We throw in Jiragar to finish the job, and the fourth Elite Four member has been defeated. As we take these stairs up to face our rival, I can't help but remember all of the times dark type moves shattered our reality in this playthrough. I really hope our rival didn't catch on to our one glaring weakness. Okay, maybe two glaring weaknesses. See, we didn't overtrain for the Elite Four battles, so we end up quite under-leveled for this fight. We lose a few times until we reach a decent level. Even at a decent level, I couldn't have been ready for this battle. We are met with this Baniclus. Yeah, the servers died, and we unfortunately don't get to see this fusion, but it isn't long before we send it packing. Right on time, our rival's next Pokemon is Dark type. Even worse, it sets up Nasty Plot, sharply raising its special attack. This is the moment we've been training for. All the endless encounters with dark Pokemon led to this battle right here. Rapid Roark wastes no time hitting us with Night Days, after Night Days, after Night Days. Yeah, you get the picture. After using our limited max revives, we send out Kyogre. Luckily for us, Peeves uses a full restore, opening a window for us to annihilate this thing with Origin Pulse. And suddenly, it's looking like we might finally have a chance. We switch out Giovanni, who is a tank. With no dark moves in sight, we have plenty of time to set up future side attacks and buff our defenses with cosmic power. After a long standoff with this Fur Knight, we decide to take matters into our own hands and decide our own fate. You served us well, Giovanni. Genvire is able to get the KO on Fur Knight before getting clobbered by this Marrow Ape. We're fortunate enough to have Alligar and its psychic moves to finish off our rival's final 3 Pokemon. And with that, we finally beat Pokemon Infinite Fusions with only Gengar fused Pokemon. Thank you so much for watching. This run was brutal, but we got through it with the help from a few key Pokemon. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. If you can't get enough of Pokemon Infinite Fusion, I did a run with only starter Pokemon. Check it out over here. See ya in the next video.